Welcome aboard. My name's Eddie Safrick from Sea Kayaking, Bruny Island. I'm just doing a fun solo paddle today from Kingston Beach to Drowdy Point, and then hopefully get across to Lauderdale. So I'm in a Greenlander Pro by Nigel Dennis, made on a little island in Wales called Holly Island. This is a skeg kayak, which means it doesn't have a rudder. It's just got a skeg in the back that goes up and down on this slider as you need it. It's got hard chines, and it's one of my favorite sea boats because it goes downwind so well and it's so well behaved. At the moment I've only got half skeg down. On an expedition load I would probably have full skeg down and just let the kayak do all the correcting and the work. But for this trip I'm only carrying about 5 kilos worth of gear in the kayak, so I've got the skeg halfway, so it holds my course downwind, but it also is not too difficult to correct if I need to correct on a wave quickly. So this paddle is brought to you by my partner Helen Thomas, who's kindly agreed to pick me up from wherever the wind takes me, and I'm just kind of in the middle of the Derwent estuary now, so it's kind of messy, lumpy conditions. It's short fetch and short waves, but you can still have a good time in this kayak in these conditions. So I'm on the back of a wave now. I'm pushing forward, leaning forward, trying to get on the next one, and I'm just on. They're only little lumps, and when I correct I'm using my edges, these hard chine edges, conserving my energy until the bow drops, and I raise my right thigh to go right, I raise my left thigh to go left, and I'm also using body weight forward and back and left to right, and also edging where my head's above the center line of the kayak, and it's just the kayak that moves up or down like that. So the waves are starting to line up a little bit now, so let's see if I can surf a couple of them. Now I don't want to outrun the waves in this kayak, and I don't want to use more energy than I need to. I'm pushing with my feet. For every stroke I take on the right, I'm pushing with my right foot, and for every stroke I take on the left, I'm pushing with my left foot. So you saw then how effective those chines can be in turning the kayak back to the correct position. It doesn't matter if you've got a surf ski or a sea kayak or a ruddered kayak or a skeg kayak. These skills I'm using now can be transferred easily to any paddle craft that you might choose to paddle especially on the ocean here. Well, I guess it's the Derwent estuary, Storm Bay-ish. So this is just a lovely, lovely paddle. It's responsible for my exercise as well as my mental health regime, and just to be out here in nature is the most wonderful thing. Just to feel the motion underneath you. Maybe I wasn't rocked enough as a kid, I don't know, but I just love it out here. Just seems to heal all. So I'm giving it a little squirt, dropping an edge to correct. The bow's just on the back of a wave. I don't want to push through. I know I don't have the speed to get onto that one on the left, so I'll start up again. I find a higher cadence is better than powerful strokes out here. Speaking of strokes, I'm using forward stroke and sweep strokes in a blended way to adjust the kayak's direction and to initiate some of those turns I'm using with the chines by dropping an edge. So catching a little ride here. There's nothing much happening on the water as far as size or steepness. The forecast was to 25 knots. I think it's about 15 or so at the moment. So I'm just on the back of a little wave. My kayak is kind of as big as the trough, probably a little bit longer on some of these waves. I'm just dropping an edge to correct. Pretty much on course now. Going to get into this trough and a little bit of a squirt onto the next little wave. So if I want the wind to correct me, I'll just lean back a little bit and it'll put me in a straight line. If I want to be assertive with controlling the boat direction, I'll sometimes actually lean forward to release the stern, drop an edge and correct with a little stern rudder. It just depends on your goals. If you're on a long paddle, you probably just want to conserve your energy, but here I can jump on and off waves. Getting a heap of messiness and some wind now. So I'm on the back of a wave. I'm going to see if I can get on this one. Now I'm following it, it's changing direction a little. I'm stalling, and now I'm on to the next wave. Phew. And the next one, I'm just trying to keep my direction relatively on course. If it's about 15 degrees on or off, it doesn't matter too much. The boat will correct itself. So leaning forward, dropping an edge, putting the little stern rudder in. Still quite messy and the direction's all over the place. I'm just conserving my energy now. Having a bit of a breather. So I'm waiting for the waves to line up, steepen up, and give me a little tap on the shoulder to say, this one's the right one to be on. This one's worth expending some energy on. So here we go. Here's a tap. Just a little wave, but it's giving me a little bit of speed. I'm seeing what's ahead, keeping my momentum going with short strokes, a higher cadence. So as a rule, I generally teach people to maintain a medium-paced cadence in these situations, and then when you see the bow drop, just a bit more of a squirt and lean forward. That was an assertive edge just to straighten up. And the same on this side. I'm not putting too much energy in those corrections. I'm trying to use my body weight and my skills and the whole design, importantly, to make those corrections. So just dropped an edge there, following this wave. These waves aren't really going in one direction. They're sort of going straight like this. And then this one's going off here just a little bit. Now it's going off here. I'm on the back of the one in front of me. I lean back. I want to keep my momentum going. I'll just do a little correction here. I like to correct when my bum is on the crest of a wave. So therefore, I'm able to pivot the boat. And if I want to maneuver the boat on a wave, I'll make sure my stern is hanging over the back of the wave, so I'm not getting too much resistance from the skeg or the stern, because the stern's straight up and down. So when I drop an edge, the stern, instead of being straight up and down, will do that and slide around, because that's where the turning is in a sea kayak. The bow is the pivot and the stern skids around, plus rudders are in the back. Gonna have a look around me, look for boat traffic, keep an eye on the weather. Droughty Point's coming into view now, like quite strongly. It was always in view. So I'm hoping that I can get some nice runs in the next short while and get them all the way into Lauderdale. So the fitter you are, the more fun and control you're going to have paddling any craft. I can tell you I'm about 50% of my fittest but that will change. It's funny, when you're a sea kayaker, you kind of have this base foundation fitness and muscle memory that doesn't take very much to reawaken after a bit of hibernation, like lockdown or terrible weather. So nothing much is happening underneath me. I'm just conserving energy, trying to maintain a reasonable cadence, and ready for the next little bump. My bows hit the back of the front wave, lean forward, I'm on that, and again, a little squirt, pushing with the feet. That wave's turned sharply. We'll go again. I'll sweep on the left, just straighten up, little stern rudder. I'll follow this wave through. Just watching the waves in front, a little squirt here. So now I'm putting all of the little things I've spoken about together. And when you paddle a kayak for a while, they just become instinctive. But if you start to get a bit sloppy with your skills, it's good to break them down and understand just where your problems might be coming from. So I got Droughty Point right on the nose. I guess I'm about 3 k's away. So sometimes I get into a zone doing this kind of paddling, especially in bigger, steeper seas, where I'm not even looking around for the whales and the seals and the dolphins and the orcas. I'm just studying the water, looking for the paths with the waves, between the waves, working out when to spend my energy, like now, and when to hang on to it, like now. Try to go on the next wave and follow this one. It's turning and come to a slower point. That wave just got fatter. It just wasn't worth pursuing. Maybe my fit self could have pursued it and bashed another run out of it. Okay, it's starting to steepen up a bit now. We'll see if I can get in on this. Not quite. Short waves were just overlapping at angles then. Okay, I'm going to bring my speed up a little bit more. My bow is pretty much pointing at Droughty Point now. I just want to come right of it a little. Okay, a little squirt. I think I can get on this. I hesitated a bit too long then, but I still made it. Okay, following this one, dropping an edge. I'm on the top of the wave, which is a nice place to be because you can change your direction nicely. I'm following this one through, linking a few, changing direction with an edge. Now I need to boost the speed. Starting to fatten up in front of me, starting to form again. I'm waiting, bounce dropping. I should be able to get on this, and I'm on top of the wave. And a little squirt here to keep moving, correct a little, and a bit of power. On to the next one. That was pretty good fun.